Here we go. We're going to go fast and flow at the same time. I don't know how this is going to work, but I have to go fast to get in everything that I want to say tonight, and all of it is important. We have an event tomorrow night on the Beauty and the Inside and Out group. Here's the thing. This is the first year in a long time that I did not know exactly what was going to shake down at Super Saturday, because in the past I've either been a trainer or married to a board member or both. And so when they came out with send, share, invite, I was like, okay, between send, share, invite and the Doe app, this is the most literal answer to prayer that I have had in a long time. Now, interestingly enough, the Doe app, the reason I followed through with every appointment with Darius, the creator, the reason I kept staying in the loop with all of that, because it's not like me. It's not like me to be like, prompt someone and be like, hey, remember what you said? We're going to do this thing. Because I think he had been blown off by some other jewels. I don't think it. I know it. I knew kind of in my mind that he had, but then I got it confirmed recently. And so I thought, okay, he's not really interested in doing this for Plexus because there just weren't enough people interested. And I understand I'm not going to do something for just like 2 or 3 people. So I kept going back, and it's against my nature to go back and say, hey, ding, 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 I need a favor from you. But I'm going to tell you what I was going on. I heard in my spirit, your people are going to need something better than what they have, because things are about to get fast. And I'm like, we're not fast. That's what I was thinking. We're not ready for fast. We want to be ready for fast, but we're not. So when it was first introduced to me, I thought, oh, you know what? This could make us fast. This could make us sharper. I will say that it was said to me, multiple people have said to me who haven't used it yet, he's proud of his app. Okay. Because if you buy Candy Crush, I don't know, is Candy Crush free or $1? I don't know. Or is Candy Crush even real? Is it a thing anymore? I don't know. But if you buy a game as an app and you're an audience of millions and you only pay $1 and it's a big time suck and you don't make any money with it, and that's how you view apps. If you go, an app is for games and they cost $1 or they're free, then $20 a month might seem like a lot of money. If you view it, however, as a personal assistant who keeps up with all the crap you did all day today, and then comes back and says, remember what you did yesterday? Now you got to follow up on all that. Nobody's going to do that for $20 a month. But the Doe app, okay? Quit looking at it like it's an app. The fact that it's an app makes it convenient to use. The fact that it's called an app makes people think it should cost $1. Okay? Now that I've got that out of the way, the people that are using it are already like, yes, best thing ever. Now, at Super Saturday, I was sitting next to Katie Reeder, and she had just done a full nanny. She's a nanny. I'm going to call her the wrong thing. Correct me, Katie, for what it's called. But she a baby nanny, nighttime baby nanny for newborns. And so she had just done a night shift. And so she's sitting there, but she's catching a lot of the things that are being announced at Super Saturday. And she kept leaning over to me and elbowing me and being like, Doe is going to make this so easy. You would think this is the first year that I got things in order in such a beautiful way that you would think I did know what they were going to announce at Super Saturday. You would think she probably had that whole lineup. In fact, I had people messaging me little laughing faces like, ha ha, you knew, this is great. And I'm like, this is the first year I didn't know. Had no idea. but I was going with a hunch that I had, not about Super Saturday. I had a hunch that things were about to get fast, and you need something better than a pencil and a paper. Now, the Dough app, if I have it right, okay, if I have it right, the Dough app code is going to last a couple more days. He hasn't answered me back on that, but I know he sent me a message earlier today telling me how many of you had registered, and he was in shock and awe, which is great. It didn't translate to dollars for me. Like I said, I'm not making a penny on this app. However, I'm going to make lots of pennies because y'all are using this app. You got me? Okay, I'm happy about that. That means you're making pennies too. You just see what I'm saying? Like we all making the dough. I like the name of the app. Okay, no more promo about dough. But I had to say, okay, if you don't have dough, I'm sorry, but you got one of these. Okay, this is dough on paper. Carry it in your purse. Keep it where you can see it. Don't lose it. That's a bad thing about it. If you lose it and has all your info in it, boo. I mean, big time. So I feel like I kind of want to get out of the way so that you're not sitting there chewing your nails. In case you went to Super Saturday and you're like, okay, it all sounded good, but it sounded like some of it was on repeat. Or it all sounded good, but it's too much information. I don't know where to go get it. Or all the things that I, in my brain, am thinking you may be thinking. If you are on both a phone and a computer, like I hope that you are, I want you to use one of the other device to open your back office. Just go into your Plexus account and sign in. I'm going to share. I got to make sure I can share a screen with y'all on what I'm fixing to show. Not that. Not that. Okay. I'm not going to show that. Okay. Okay. I'm stalling and giving you guys enough time and finding what I need to have here. But I've accidentally covered up my share button. Hang on. Okay. I'm sharing screen now. Hopefully. Okay. I don't know what I just did. Something went away. Okay, here we go. I'm going to move you guys out of the way. Can you guys see just the upper left portion of my dashboard right here? Right here. Look. Boogity boogity. Huh?
Yeah, I still have a strip on the side.
I have it scooted over so you can't see all my info because I don't know what all's on there. I'm like, because this is on YouTube. Okay. I mean, it'll be on YouTube. So you see here, okay, this little, if that's not up, you're going to click the little gray button and or gray lines there, 3 lines. And you're going to go down to what says Training Center. Everybody following me? And Resource Library. Okay. In Resource Library should look like this. You're going to go, where is it? Where is it? What are we looking for? What are we looking for? I don't see it. Is it this one? Is it this one? What am I looking for? Is it this video? Is it a flyer? Scroll down. It's right there. Sharing system. It's not the first junk stuff. Not junk. It's not the first stuff that looks like a bunch of stuff. It's sharing system. If you click this sharing system PDF, you pull up the guts of this flyer. See what I'm saying? Send, share, invite. It's one flyer that looks like this. Everybody found that? Okay, go back. Now, click leads you didn't know you have. And there you go. That's the guts. That's the rest of it. Do you want to know the girl who don't check her back office? Just to get me to go do that today, because I don't do that. Jetty usually goes and does all of the stuff. I said, oh, but my team needs to know how to do this. That's the sharing system. That's this pamphlet if you need to print off an extra one. Now, that's, here we go. Send step 1. Instead of worrying about what to say when explaining plexus, simply send a video and let it do the talking for you. Listed below are a variety of inspirational videos designed to motivate people to learn more or take a first step on their health journey. There you go. Send resources, product marketing videos. Step 2, share. Step 2, the next step in our sharing system is to share a story because facts tell and stories sell. When someone wants more information, share a Plexus product or opportunity story. And there they are. Ta-da! Step 3, most of your prospects land in this step of the sharing system, which is designed to let them experience Plexus. Remember, it takes an average of 6 to 7 touch points for a person to feel like they have enough information to choose Plexus. Commit to the process and keep inviting. Does anybody know if these videos are specific back to your link? I'm going to just see. Oh, that downloaded it to my computer. Okay. Mm-hmm.
They're PDFs.
Okay. Oh. Hang on. Some of them should be videos. Like I may have I think I just touched on a PowerPoint. My bad. My problem. Just a minute. I gotta find where I was. Not that one. Here we go. No, not that one. Let's close out some of this stuff. How about? Not that. Not that. There it is. Okay. I'm gonna find one that's a video that I know is a video. Promotions, incentive. Am I looking right at one, Jetty? Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna see if these are specific to my link, okay? I'm gonna click the link and see. Full length.
Developing healthy eating habits is key to losing weight and feeling your best.
Okay.
But when you're hungry, it's not always easy to make good decisions that support a healthy lifestyle.
So I don't know. It doesn't.
But it says Lori Harrison right at the top of that. When that pulled up,
it did?
I'm pretty sure it did. I saw your name at the top of it somewhere.
Okay, see, the link itself didn't look like it was specific to my, when I clicked on the address bar, but maybe they are. I would say it would be wise then. Okay, let me go down through the steps. So share, invite. Now these are opportunity presentations. These are PowerPoints, PDFs, a slim down challenge. Obviously, though, inviting could also be meaning inviting to a launch event or something like that, right? Like the kind of event that we're going to do tomorrow night. It would be wise. Now, we did put out a list that you can put in the notes in your phone. Hang on, I want to see y'all's faces again. So we're going to get out of that. Oh, I didn't mean to close the whole thing out. That was a dumb thing to do. Hang on a minute. Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh, no, all the things that I had. Oh, what am I doing? It's all gone. Okay. Okay, let me get out of this. It'll just take me a second. Look at Dawn laughing at me.
Hey, if you go up to, are you on Safari?
Yes.
Go up to view or file, and it may say open the last screens or something that you closed.
Okay.
but I don't remember which tab it is.
Okay. Hang on. I got to get you guys over to the side so I can see. I can't seem to move. Okay. Hang on. View. Edit. Go.
Recent folders.
Folders.
Recent folders. Go down.
Okay.
But wait a minute, you're in Finder. You need to go to Safari.
Oh,
Click on Safari.
here? Oh.
Okay, and now go up to File.
Or was it history?
Wait. Recently closed.
Right
Yep.
here?
Yeah, see where it says reopen last windows?
Okay.
Reopen from the last session. Reopen all. No. Come back.
Okay. Hang on.
Down.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I am a clicker. Just a minute. History.
Reopen all windows.
Thank you. You just saved me big time. Broke out in a sweat there. What the heck? Okay. It looks like it's opening them all. We're gonna say a little prayer that that's what just happened. Woo! Different kind of sweat tonight. Okay. The reason I wanted to make you go through what you just went through is because it's real easy to say, I don't know where that is. That was super easy, wasn't it? It's the gray, you click the little gray bars, you go down there. If you're using a Doe app, you're going to have, especially if you're sitting down and going to do like a power hour or something like that, you're going to have your computer open and it's going to make this streamline very simple. However, if you're working from the carpool lane, which is, your 15-minute windows within the day, it's smart to have all the links to all of the videos, which I posted in my team page. I will post in the other page just a rundown of all the videos that are on YouTube that are from Super Saturday, like the new opportunity video, it's smart to have those in a notes section in your phone so that you can just grab the link and send it to someone while you're going down through your send, share, invite. Does everybody follow me so far? Okay. To me, that is the simplest thing. Now, I want to watch a video. It's 20 minutes or so. I want to watch a video of Michelle Thomas. Now, I want to explain why we're going to watch this video. She was chosen to, her team tested out the system. They're calling this the system. Send, share, invite. They tested out the system for a month, I think, leading up to Super Saturday. And then she did an interview about it yesterday. Are you guys okay with watching her talk about what it did for her team? Okay, I think it's a smart idea for us. I don't want to use a single minute tonight doing anything like retrieving all the windows I just closed. So I appreciate you guys retrieving them all at once for me. And I don't want to use a minute to watch a video that we don't need to watch, but I think that this is important. So I don't want you to think that I'm explaining to you that I'm not given I couldn't think of anything to talk about, so we're going to watch Michelle. Okay, it's not that. I think this is relevant. I watched it today. Okay.
Hey, Lori.
Yes?
Before you watch the video, I have a quick question about the sharing videos before we move on.
Okay.
The ones that they shared on Saturday, the new ones that had us all crying,
Yep.
they're linked to the YouTube, the Plexus YouTube. Are those are different than the ones in the back office that are linked to our website?
Are you asking me that or telling me?
I'm asking because I'm not sure. I don't see any of the ones that I don't see any of the names. I'm trying to click back and forth of the ones that from Saturday in this list here. So
I'm turning this over to Christy. I think she knows the answer.
Okay, because I rarely am on my laptop. I wanted to go through the laptop plus the phone, but when you go to the resources, now I'm on an iPhone. I don't know what it's going to look like on an Android.
no, that's what I have too. Okay.
But when you go to it, now at first they have at the beginning, your resource get started and all that, but they've actually made the sharing system right close to the top. So if you'll scroll down just a little bit, you'll see step 1, send, and then it has the 3 new videos, and then it has all the product marketing videos, and then in the step 2. So it's actually super easy to find, which I'm surprised because I always have a hard time
On
finding
YouTube,
stuff.
Christia, or in your back office?
Back office.
No, I'm in my back office.
Okay, because I'm trying to look on my laptop and that's where I'm confused.
Try it from your
Because-
phone, she's saying.
Okay, I was
Okay.
looking on my phone.
I have an answer for the YouTube part.
All right.
If you search Plexus shareables, there will be, you know how you have separate videos or they have groupings that you can click on YouTube?
Yes.
There will be a grouping of 3 videos because I tried to do Plexus sharing opportunity or sharing product or whatever it was, but it's under Plexus shareables and it's in the group
Well,
of
so I
3.
know what I have the YouTube links, but that my question is, if I have the YouTube link and I send somebody that's not going to send
They
them
are
to
the
my
same.
website.
Not to your website, but they are the same video.
Okay, but if we want people to be able to click on our website, then we need to send it from our back office.
Or you just send them the video and then send them a link to your website.
But Christia is saying from your phone, they're immediately at the top. Those 3 videos that you're looking for, right? Oh, just
Yes.
barely down a little, she says.
Just a little bit down. Yeah, but it was actually really easy because it was the first thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, here we go. All right, share screen. I'm gonna scoot you guys over because I can't tell what you see and what I see and all this. And oh, messages are up. Go away, messages. Okay. Actually, it didn't pull up everything. Oh, boogie. Okay. Yeah. Hang on. We'll reference this post, and Plexus Ambassador Community is the group that I'm in. I will reference this post later in the call because this is important. There was a MetaBurn product call yesterday or today, and here we go, Michelle Thomas. I'm going to fast forward a little bit into this call because I think they're making other announcements. Here. Here we go.
When I was asked to pilot the system by Genevieve, I felt like God handed me this biggest gift, and I think that that's what we've just been handed in Plexus. Like, it's something that we've looked for, we've begged for. You know, a lot of top leaders had created their own and was seeing success. But you know, somebody asked me, how do I get started in Plexus? What do I need to do? It was just organized chaos for me. You know, I would always be trying something different. Well, let's try this onboarding process, or let's try this system now. And, you know, to have something given to us from the company, I actually am emotional about it. I feel like, you know, with us having our subscriptions now automatic, us having a system, and us focusing on the weight loss, there is absolutely no reason to explode every business in 2019. Like, I actually feel like anybody can reach their potential in this company with these tools. And, you know, I wanted to mention something on the 199 like, I don't even know what you really want me to talk about except for the mindset of the system. Is that right, Logan? Okay, so in my experience, but I wanted to kind of bring this up. 6 years ago when I joined Plexus, we were really a lot more at that point focused on weight loss. Okay, so like it was when I joined, it was a little bit more focused on weight loss, and there's an assumption when you're doing stuff to lose weight that you're always going to share with a few people and always have accountability partners. And when I first joined Plexus, there wasn't the mentality of wholesale ambassador as much. There wasn't the mentality of like, oh, they're going to get their products and they're going to hide them in a cabinet and they're going to not tell a soul and lock them up and basically put black labels over the packaging. Like, there wasn't that mentality. And I think that back then, I used to sell more 199 kits. There was the assumption that they were going to share with their friends and family and that they needed to be set up for success. And we used to sell 199 kits way more. And then we got into a culture where everything was a lot about wholesale ambassadors and just $99 kits. And then a lot of people ended up going under $99 under $100 the next month. And then it was hard for us to grow our teams because of attrition and being below point values. So I just feel like with the mentality of the 199, we really have to get back to the value of sharing right away. And that's what this fresh start, this fast start whole thing is all about, is that they want to set us up with the mentality of like, you don't have to wait, or you don't have to wait a long time to start sharing. They've got everything set up for you. The 199 kits are setting you up with more products so you have more experiences. I don't know. I just feel like it's mentality. A lot of people, like, we didn't think about it, you know, back then selling 199 kits all the time. And then it's just what you get used to, and it's just what you think about. You know, if we'd always had.
I don't know. Is the audio and the video off from each other? Can y'all hear me? I don't know. I'm going to let it keep going.
And then it was $299, then it would be that, you know, then we'd be thinking like that $199 is better than the $299. It's $199 to join an amazing business with a compensation plan that we have is still very, very, very affordable. I just signed somebody up last month that was buying shakes, and she was spending like $100 just for the shakes by themselves, let alone all of the other value that we add. So anyways, I've been trying to just really, you know, get that into my team's mentality, because it's really going to help us move forward, and get excited about believing that you can go fresh start and that you can teach fast start. Because if you don't have that belief in these 199 kits and these packs, then you're not going to do it for yourself, and you're not going to be able to teach it to your team. And that's the duplication. I mean, that's where it starts. So anyways, so in December, I was asked to pilot this system with Genevieve, and it was incredible. I felt like I was a brand new ambassador, which honestly, if you really want to regrow your team, or if you really want to get into momentum, pretend like you're a new ambassador, because that's truly what it's all about. Is just, I mean, your contact list it will never go away no matter what rank you get to in Plexus. This is always your like network marketing Bible, so to speak, as far as your Franks list, your leads list. And I, you know, a couple of the things that, you know, the mentalities that my team was really struggling with when we were doing the pilot system was the idea of like, but we've been told to share our stories. We've been told to share our stories over and over and over again. And, you know, how are we supposed to just dial it back and only, you know, share these short scripts? How are we supposed to do that? And it was amazing because it empowered people that were afraid to share. Maybe they felt like their story wasn't good enough. Maybe they felt like they didn't know how to talk to people. It empowered more people sharing. And that was what was cool to me, because I felt like I really have a tool now where it's like a lot of people, network marketing is a lot of people doing a little bit of work. And I feel like I have something where I can get a lot more people doing a little bit of work. And that got me really excited. It gave my people a lot more confidence, because confidence happens in the activity. And this is activity. This is where confidence is going to happen. A lot of times we focus on personal growth and all of this, you know, ramping up and motivation. And I mean, there's just nothing more motivating and exciting than doing the work every day. I mean, just doing what you know to do. And so anyways, Logan, I don't know if you want me to, how much more you want me to delve in, but it was amazing.
No, I think that's perfect. And then, you know, just like you said, is just, you know, it sounds like, and one big takeaway that I had, you know, being in that group was everybody, you know, that feeling like a new ambassador, like you said, that
connections.
Here we go.
To do the system. There's no other, I mean, you're not going to, I mean, like, you're going to do the system, and you're going to do the system every day, you know, and that's going to be your key. And if you spent the last 6 months, you know, thinking about your business or being inconsistent in your reach outs and in your connections, then, you know, you're going to have to get really consistent to see that build up and truly, this isn't something that's new, but I feel like we have it like buttoned up now, and it's neat and pretty, and we needed scripts so that we can actually take off. And one thing that that I love, just the idea of, is that Bob Heilig tells us on network marketing teaching, but you're teaching your prospects the system before they even join you. And so you have to, if you follow this system to bring someone into the company, then you are literally going to be able to say exactly what I just did. That's exactly what you're going to do. And so it takes away the fear, going back to people like getting anxious about, but I'm not sharing my story. I'm so used to telling my story to every person. Well, if you tell your story to every person, then every person joins you thinking that they have to have a story like that before they can start sharing. And that slows down growth. And so Genevieve, she was the one that obviously helped create this system, and she's a gem to Plexus. She is amazing. I absolutely loved working with her. I felt like she got in the weeds for what we needed, and I just want to validate it. I know that we're on the ambassador community page. There's 160 people watching, and I just want you to know that your top leaders in Plexus, blood, sweat, and tears have been put into the system, and we 100% are behind it. We believe in it. We're digging in it ourselves. I have my 2019 notebook of leads and prospects, and I am being consistent. I'm going for Fresh Start, and I'm determined. I was supposed to have 2 people sign up 2 days ago. You know how that goes. But I'm determined to Fresh Start. I'm determined to do that. I came into 2019 feeling like Plexus truly, it's like the time for new momentum. And I really believe that, like, in my spirit, like, it's not just like it's the new year. I believe there was more depth to it. I think that we came into 2018 having gone through an IT change, and then there was some product changes, and then we brought out Joyome, and then we didn't have our subscriptions in place. But at the end of the year, that came in. We have a new system, and we have MetaBurn, and we have products that are focused on weight loss, and put all that together. And I just couldn't be more thrilled. I just want you guys to believe it for yourself. Take my belief and get some accountability partners together and run with this thing. Hold each other accountable to 5 days a week, connecting with 5 to 10 people. It's literally that simple. If you get up in the morning and you say to yourself, like, maybe you were struggling. Maybe you're struggling with what to do in your business. Maybe you were feeling like you didn't want to do anything. Listen, you have to show up. If you want to go up, you have to.
She was about to say you need the Dough app. Just going to say, okay. She doesn't say that part, but that's really what you need. Okay.
Okay. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody is going to pull you out of that bad attitude or the lack of motivation. You are the only person that can do that for yourself. But here's what you do. If you don't feel like doing anything, do the 5 to 10 reach outs. I promise you, there will be a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment just by reaching out. And you will all of a sudden be motivated to send 10 more, or you'll be motivated to make a post, and it's going to be some kind of inspiring post about how you did it anyway. And then you're going to inspire somebody else. And at the end of the day, this is about impacting other people. And so if we, keep it all about ourselves, or if we stay super just all about our feelings, then we aren't going to reach the levels that I know we all want to reach. And so that's just a little bit of a push for you, because I know in December, my team, I had a lot of people that wanted to pilot this group. And at the end of the pilot, I had a very small amount of people that stayed consistent with it. And that's where you really have to dig deep with yourself right now. And is your goals really your goals? Are you going to put this into action? Because truly, Plexus gave us something that we can do in only 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. I mean, it does not take long to reach out to 5 to 10 people. So anyways, that's just a little bit from me.
No, hey, it's so true, right? I mean, this process, this system, it streamlines everything. And I Oh yeah, no, you're totally perfect.
Are you guys all excited about the Fast Start, Fresh Start, and the sharing system? What do you guys? What topic?
I mean, you came in at a perfect time. Michelle was recapping the pilot group, and we were just touching on some of the different things within the Fresh Start and the Fast Start. So really, wherever.
Do everything Michelle says.
Yeah.
Michelle.
I was given some of my pep talk and just how amazing you were to help us get into a mentality
I'm
of
skipping
actually putting it into place and then business results. And I think that you have to remember. So, anyways, sorry, I'm chatty Kathy. Logan.
There's so much to be excited about, you guys. So can I just add? I'm just going to tell you a couple of key things. The first thing.
Okay, I'm just going to say what she's about to tell you is what the post in Plexus Ambassador community, I think they took what she says here in just a second and they turned it into a challenge, and it's brilliant. The wording is all ready for you and everything. So here we go.
Success loves speed. Success loves speed. There's so much that goes on in your brain when you take an action in faith and you just say, I am doing this. So get yourself fresh start qualified like yesterday. That is, you don't need scripts for that. You absolutely 100%. We've got a great product call tonight. You should be inviting people to that. But get yourself fresh start qualified, because what that does is it actually starts to set up some neural pathways in your brain that says, hey, I'm on the path of success. So take a step in that direction right away. The second thing I want you to know is that people join direct selling businesses and network marketing businesses for two reasons: product and culture. Check with Plexus. We are rolling out products at a great pace. Our products work. They change people's lives. I want you to think about how cool it is to be able to tell people that your job is to make people feel good in their bodies, right? Like, for the first time in so long, I actually feel great when I wake up. I feel good about what I'm seeing in the mirror. That is so big for so many people. People are looking for health, hope. You can offer that. The second, we're in the best time of the year is right now, when people are like, I have goals, right? They're reawakened. They're open to what their goals are. Get on that, because now this is the time that people are excited and ready, and they're looking for you. So I want you to know, your next team members are actively looking for you. Can they find you? Are you out there? Just simple. Are you open to hearing more about how our income potential work? Just if you said nothing else, then, hey, I'm just checking in with everybody I know and love. Beginning of the year, almost everybody sets a financial goal of some sort. And this business has been super helpful to our family. And I am just reaching out to everyone and asking a simple question. Are you open to hearing more? Because, I don't know, this could be a fit, right? I don't know. You're letting them decide. If you did nothing else today but sent that text, message, phone call to people, talk to me on Friday, you'll be like, I cannot believe it. I actually hit the Enhanced Fast Start. So we have so much to be proud of, you guys. I came into this company and I was like, what is happening here? How come everyone in the world doesn't know about Plexus? And so I'm sorry, I did join. I get a little overexcited about Plexus. I'm sorry. So anywho, I just wanted to come in and say, success loves speed. Do whatever Michelle is telling you to do. Act, and you are going to be super excited. So, good?
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for letting me pray.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, real quick.
We're going to be focusing on we got Michelle. Exactly, and we'll have testimonies from people who've been taking the
the product calls are more focused for training our
Okay, I just want to
and
double check. I
inspiring
thought that was the end of what I wanted to share with you guys. If you want to watch the video in its totality, it is on the Ambassador Community, Plexus Ambassador Community. I just posted in my team page and in my alumni group page this post. We wanted to keep you all in the loop on our Ambassador Post Super Saturday webinar, which happened, I think today. You probably got a text message that said, join us on a webinar, okay? We challenged the group to help us double the views on the opportunity videos in the next 24 hours. We promised to post a single script that everyone could use. Below is the script. Please feel free to invite your teams to play this game with us. Be relational and personal. Send a personal text, message, call, or show it in person. Resist group text or announcements. Get personal. Send 1 or 2 videos linked below. Either one works. 1 of 2 videos. I'm sorry. Here's your script. And this is all in your team page. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm connecting with my friends on 2019 financial resolutions. Is that you? I have no idea if this could be a fit or not, but I'm wondering if you might be open to hearing how Plexus could help. What are your thoughts about checking out the fit? And then there's a disclaimer. Don't text the disclaimer. I think they had to put this because they were putting it out to the field. Okay. If they say they are open, simply reply, great. Do you have 3 to 5 minutes now? I'll send over a quick video. The link is there. 5 minutes later, follow up with, did you get a chance to check it out? I actually watched it too. Makes me so excited all over again. Wait for them to reply that they watched it, then say, what did you think about it? Or if they say they're open, simply reply, great. Do you have Am I repeating myself? Oh, I'll send over a quick video and then send the Ambassador Stories video. Then 5 minutes later, follow up. Did you get a chance to check it out? In the same 2 different versions. Okay, I'm like, well, I'm thinking I'm repeating myself.
Yes, it's fine.
So then she has there's a graphic that just says the original question that you're sending to people. Who is willing to do, because you remember what she said, that many of you would do the fresh start or the fast start if you just send this out to a few friends and family. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to FOMO you so bad. I'm going to say, guess what happened when I did it? Like, and if you either will be FOMO'd or you won't, depending on if you did it too. Like, you remember what happened with the app when I FOMO'd y'all, didn't you? Y'all, 154 people signed up for that app based on FOMO alone. In fact, Darius said, how did you get so many people to and I said, oh, because I have learned the art of FOMO. That's what I told him. Because people were afraid after they saw Katie Reeder say, and Ann McNeil say, and a hand of people say, oh my gosh, this app is like manna from heaven. I heard Ann McNeil say. Ann McNeil said, this is manna from heaven. Katie's like, this is what I've been needing for my business. And next thing you know, every single one of you, 154, or however many there were at the time he messaged me earlier today, were like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss out on something. So I'm using the art of FOMO when I come back and go, guess how many people I signed up when I did the thing I said I was going to do on the video that you should do too. Okay. Challenge extended. We'll see if the challenge is accepted. All right. That's been taken care of. Tomorrow night's video that's going to happen in the Beauty Inside and Out group. Here's what I have to tell you about this. I have put a lot of thought into how I want to handle tomorrow night. It will happen in the Beauty Inside and Out group. That I can promise. Somehow, I can't promise that it's going to happen watch party style, which is what I so really bad wanted to do. But everybody I'm watching do watch parties that are the way I want to do it, it's goofing up on them because of Facebook problems. So, would you guys even trust me enough to invite people to an event that's going to happen on the Beauty Inside and Out group tomorrow? By noon tomorrow, I will have posted all the prizes that will be given away, and I will explain how it will shake down. but I actually need the rest of tonight and maybe until noon tomorrow to figure out the shaking down part. And so you may not be in the loop as to how it's going to shake down, but you know it'll happen in that group tomorrow at 6:30. You have to trust me, because I thought I could get it figured out today, and that did not happen. I went, I did a watch party in a group that nobody knows about. And I tried to add videos to the watch party. If somebody is really familiar with watch parties, I really would love to be able to get some of the Plexus new videos stacked into a watch party. Because, you know, when you do a watch party, you add video. But from my understanding, they have to be videos that are on Facebook somewhere. You can't pull videos from other places. And so it's not working out the way I wanted to. It maybe have to be old-fashioned style where I'm posting a link and here's a 3-minute video and now watch this, and I do sort of a send, share, invite type thing that turns into an event and give away some fun prizes. Okay, regardless, it will be 6:30 tomorrow night. And if you will add people to that group, if you will start sending out that message, you need to add them to the group. If you will do what Genevieve, that's her name, looks like Genevieve, but her name is Genevieve. If you will do what Genevieve said and add people to that, then add those same people that say yes to the group, you will sponsor some people tomorrow night. Okay? Do I send this to the cold market? Yes. I would say, no, I don't know. You're talking about Genevieve's. If you're talking about that, I would say it needs to be people that you know, at least know. You
Share video.
huh?
Not Michelle or Genevieve's video, but
Yeah.
2 videos that are in
Jetty's answering me. Hang on.
the one that you were watching earlier.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, some of these videos, one of these videos you haven't seen yet, right? Possibly haven't seen yet. It wasn't played at Super Saturday. Am I right? I want to play a video for you that you didn't see at Super Saturday. So it's a short one.
Play both of them. They're both short.
Okay, here we go.
And say
These are going to be the videos. Okay, hang on. Huh?
I'm just joking.
I don't know what you're saying. Ow. Here we go. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Neat. Here we go, people. New video.
Plexus has given us the freedom and the chance to say yes to things.
Right after my daughter Ava was born, I became a single mom. I started looking at this industry, and I had some really specific criteria that I was basing my decision off of because I knew it had to support my family.
I can feel it all over my skin, pouring out from the depths within, like a river running with no end inside.
Plexus has been so amazing. For a college student, you need something that's flexible. That's the nice thing about Plexus is you use your own hours.
My health was becoming a priority again because I see that there was hope again.
That's one less stress that we've had, the finances of adoption.
I'd say that we always had the heart for it, but we never had the means or the capacity or the ability to do it.
Plexus, for me, it's turned into how can I share this with as many people as I can to help them change their lives.
One of the first things I considered when thinking about doing this business is this really going to work for everyone?
Losing inches, I'm losing pounds. I feel great. My self-esteem has skyrocketed. When my husband says you're beautiful, I believe him now. I believe him because I feel it.
I was struggling with some health issues. I just knew this was a product I needed to be on.
It's just an amazing opportunity to be able to do extra things that we probably couldn't do if we just relied on my nursing income.
And it's helped me in my career. I'm a police officer and I work at night. So it's given me that energy that I need to get through my night shift.
I have the flexibility now with Plexus. I help coach my son in Little League, and it just offers me some more time with the kids.
It's more of a choice, and it's fun because we can keep up with our kids. We just go all day, and we love it.
I wanted, to get healthy and lose the weight. I had no intentions of telling anybody. and now I can't not tell anybody about it.
When we were looking at all the options out there with so many different companies, this compensation plan was by far the best.
This Plexus this year earned a $10,000 shopping spree. We were going to take the kids to come snow skiing. Well, we found out about him, and sure enough, he was going to be born here in Utah. So we were able to purchase airline tickets for all 4 children and my parents. That has been a huge blessing. We thought we were coming snow skiing, but we got a baby.
We love Reese! I was a news reporter in Dallas, Texas. I was working the morning show, so I was literally getting up at 2:30 in the morning, going to bed at 8 o'clock at night. I was getting sick all the time. To get healthier, I got a health coach, and that health coach introduced me to Plexus, and it really did change everything. And so now, instead of just reporting the problems that people are facing, I'm actually helping them solve them. That is such a blessing, and it's all because of Plexus. I really do love Plexus.
We're grateful for freedom, life,
Balance, family, Plexus.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. This one. Love this one.
There's no such thing as a perfect
Wait,
writer.
not this.
This is why I use Grammarly to check my work.
If I'm putting commas in the wrong place, we saw vision. We knew that in order for us to be together and live life on our terms, that we needed something more. Started noticing I wasn't sleeping as well, and I couldn't go as strong all day. I would have my crashes. Like, I didn't know what a crash was hardly before that.
I did always very much long for our family to be together more and for us to be able to travel. I was like, I gotta do something to fix this. I don't want this to be forever, right?
My second son, he had a really severe reaction to his 2-month vaccinations. It shook my world, so I just started searching.
It wasn't until a meeting with a financial advisor. She said, there's no margin. You're the first client that I don't know how to fix this for you.
I started seeing health issues that just dominoed in the wrong direction drastically. It's hard to be happy when you don't have the energy to smile. We had heard about Plexus, and after 2.5 years, I couldn't believe it, honestly. I knew that I was not just healthy. I was strong. I was better. The opportunity to be able to do the business at your pace is incredible.
I love what I do. My business is to help other women exactly like I was in my situation. I never thought that it would have that big of an impact as it has. I'm never going to stop telling people about this because I want them to have the same options.
This is a perfect product and tool for us to be able to change the world.
For me, it feels like we're in the prime of life and we have such a bright future.
Now that I'm healthy, I want to thrive. I want to do things. I want to travel. I want to be present and just enjoy everything that's out there. And I'm loving it. I'm excited about the blessing of life.
I'm excited about our future.
Okay. Good videos. They're good videos. They're the best videos we've ever had. They're better than other companies' videos. We went for a bunch of years as a company on the fumes of products that work. And for 2019, I feel we have truly caught up in all the areas where the loose ends were dragging. And I'm very, very, very excited about all of that. And I'm excited about the fact that, at least for me, if for no one else, this is just, if for no one else, that there is an app that's going to help me keep up with the momentum. I'm so excited about someone said, gosh, this guy's going to make a lot of money. And I said, I hope he makes millions. The guy who made the app. I pray he makes millions, because he has streamlined things for me and for many on my team, and he did it because I kept saying, hey, don't forget about us, Darius. Don't forget about us. So there's that. Okay. I didn't know that. I don't know somebody saying he's that, or she's the app designer. I don't know what his official title is. I'm just really glad, because he's the one I talk to the most now. Actually, he's the one I talk to the most now, but when they were first doing all this stuff, he and his sister both. There's one last point I have to make, and then I'm going to pray over us, but you just have to know something. God told me, now keep in mind, this is the first year in, like, for the past 5 years, even before 5 years ago. I always knew what was going to happen at Super Saturday. I always knew the Plexus, like, where we were going to go to convention. I always knew the convention theme ahead of time. This year, if I'd have picked around, I probably could have found it out if I wanted to or whatever, but God told me back in, I want to say it was in October. I'm not certain about this. That this year's convention theme was going to be prophetic. And I was like, okay. And I even thought to myself, I cannot wait to see what the convention theme is. Now, I'm sitting at Super Saturday and they announce it. It's like, rise up. And I'm like, I don't get cynical when it comes to God, but a little bit of like, I don't get it. I will get it, I'm sure. And I will get it eventually. Like, I mean, it seems like an obvious prophetic. Have you ever been there when you're like, it might as well have said, go God. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't specific enough in my mind at that moment. Monday morning, my best friend calls me. She wasn't on Super Saturday. She's not familiar with what the theme is this year. But she says, oh, hey, you know that Bible study thing that I do? Yes. My people that I talk to often, I haven't shared this with you because I was saving it for tonight, just so you know. Those of you who are like, you're going to say, I can't believe you didn't tell me this. Okay. Monday day, my best friend says, is there any way that I could maybe put you on a Zoom and you could be at my Monday night Bible study? It's a book club thing that's like what do they call it? A life group. Her and some other girls. And I was like, she lives about an hour and 15 minutes from me, so she knew I couldn't be there. I mean, she wasn't giving me enough notice. So I said, well, we can try. And she goes, well, here's the thing. I read chapter 1, and she said, I was just like 5 minutes into it, and I was like, Lori needs to hear this book. You need to know what this book is about. And I said, well, what is it called? And she told me, she said, well, it's why her name leave me? Lisa Bevere. It's a Lisa Bevere book. I'm like, okay. So here, I'm going to share with you I bought it on Audible because I needed to catch up, and I didn't have it, and I was supposed to be on her call in a few hours. So I bought it on Audible. And I just want you to hear what I heard in the first few minutes of this Audible book. Keep in mind, she doesn't know what the convention theme is, okay? Okay, here we go. Share. I'm gonna have to find it because I've had that all pulled up. Give me a second.
Lori, while you're looking for that.
Yep.
2017. This is what I changed my team page to.
Okay.
You probably can't see it. It says Rise Up.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get something to
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
up.
I just realized that you can't see it.
You're like,
it literally says Rise Up.
In 2017.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, hang on. I'm having to back this up because I listened to some of this. Here we go.
This is Audible.
Oasis Audio presents Lioness Arising, Wake Up and Change Your World by Lisa Bevere. Read for you by Lisa Bevere. To all my lioness sisters who feel something wild, fierce, and beautiful stirring within them, you are stunning. You were born for this moment. Don't be afraid of your strength, questions, or insights. Awaken, rise up, and dare to realize all you were created to be. Chapter 1, Awaken a Lioness. Nature is made to conspire with spirit to emancipate us. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The year was 1994, and it was a night like any other in that season of my life. I had tumbled into bed later than I should have, after a desperate attempt at putting my house in order. As a pregnant mother of 3 sons, I slept deeply in those days. I would shut my eyes and fall right to sleep, only to be roused by the sound of an alarm, children, or late morning sunlight streaming into my room. But this night, I fell asleep and woke at dawn, shaken to my core. In the pre-dawn hours, I'd experienced a vivid and unusual dream. Actually, to call it a dream makes it sound as though it came to me in the form of sleep or shadow. This imagery did not. I dream regularly, but not at this level of intensity. In my world of sleep, I found myself vibrantly awake. Before me was a scene set in another place and time. I sensed I no longer walked the pathways of earth. I stood in some heavenly realm, a place of illumination without glare. Radiant light was everywhere and appeared to come from everything. There was no mist or shadow, only glorious color. These saturated hues of living color were comprised of shades so concentrated that I am without earthly reference to name them. The pigments were layered and multidimensional. For some reason, I best remember the tones of purple, but not quite our purple, and blue, yet unlike ours. There were no edges, sides, or upper border, yet the backdrop of color enwrapped what it showcased, an elevated platform of flawless, cream-colored stone, and on this platform reclined a golden lioness. She was feline perfection, majestic, powerful, and richly textured. She didn't move, but there was no doubt in my mind that she was alive, far more alive than any earthbound animal I'd seen in motion. Her head was erect but not tense, her forelegs stretched out in front of her, her fur and eyes gleamed golden. Beneath her flawless tawny coat, I could see every curve of her perfectly formed muscles. This stunning, still lioness was far more substantial, vivid, and vibrant than any of the lionesses that now walk our earth. I couldn't help thinking I beheld a heavenly prototype. Etched on the front of the flawless pillar platform were both a word and a Roman numeral, numbers 23. In contrast with this lioness, my form felt transparent, insignificant, and strangely out of place. I felt detached from my body and unaware of being pregnant. I knew I was there to behold and see, to keenly observe, and in doing so, to learn something unrealized. I sensed an urgency to grasp the weight of the imagery. Even though I was alone with the lioness, I felt no alarm or threat. I felt only wide-eyed wonder, as though by seeing, my spirit was being enlarged and connected. I absorbed all I could of what was around me. My focus shifted, and I looked into the eyes of the lioness. As I did, I heard a voice somewhere behind me announce, with the birth of this son, you will awaken a lioness. In a blur of golden light, majesty, and wonder, it was over. The next thing I knew, it was morning, and I was fully awake. All my senses were in a state of high alert, not out of fear as much as out of shock. What had I just witnessed? As time has passed, I have come to believe our earth is the time-tethered, shadowed form or partial revelation of what is original, timeless, and whole in heaven. Rise up like a lioness. As I lay in the gray of dawn, wide awake, heart racing, and body trembling, I sensed God had sent me this vision of a lioness to reveal something I would have easily missed in the day-to-day. He had my full attention. I was listening with every sense engaged. My room seemed faded and hollow, a stark contrast to the world of color I'd just left. The morning sounds of earth were muffled compared to the clarion voice in the otherworldly place. I paused, afraid to move and lose the last remnants of the vision. I closed my eyes. Yes, it was all there. The lioness, the platform, the inscription, the backdrop, and the voice. Time passed. My heart slowed, my body calmed, and I opened my eyes. Curious about the inscription on the front of the platform, I reached out and drew my Bible into bed with me. I wondered, was there a connection with a literal chapter or verse? If so, what did Numbers 23 hold? As I flipped through the pages, my heart sank when I noted the translator's heading and discovered the passage was an oracle of Balaam. I knew he was an accurate but dishonorable prophet. I read on, not sensing much of anything until I came to verse 19. God is not a man, so he does not lie. He is not human, so he does not change his mind. Has he ever spoken and failed to act? Has he ever promised and not carried it through? Listen, I received a command to bless. God is blessed, and I cannot reverse it. No misfortune is in his plan for Jacob. No trouble is in store for Israel. For the Lord their God is with them. He has been proclaimed their king. God brought them out of Egypt. For them, he is as strong as a wild ox. No curse can touch Jacob. No magic has any power against Israel. For now it will be said of Jacob, what wonders God has done for Israel. Numbers 23:19 through 23, New Living Translation. These words contain so much about the faithfulness of God. His promises are sure and certain, and his blessings are irreversible. Because of God's faithfulness, Israel had a future secure and free from the tainted and twisted effects of witchcraft or curses. All this was reassuring, but the next verse was riveting. These people rise up like a lioness, like a majestic lion, rousing itself. They refuse to rest until they have feasted on prey, drinking the blood of the slaughtered. Numbers 23:24, New Living Translation. Trembling, I reread the fierce words printed on the fragile page. Rise up like a lioness, like a majestic lion rousing itself. The raw imagery hit me. I could see it, a lion and his lioness rising up out of the grass. As they rose, the dynamics of the plain changed from peaceful to electric. Every living creature sensed the lion's change of posture and watched attentively. The golden ones were awake, stretching, testing the air, surveying their domain, ready to make their move. Perhaps they were hungry. Maybe they were agitated by the presence of an enemy who had violated the marked boundaries of their territory, and it was time to make their presence known. Once they were up, tensions would be high until their movement ceased. If the lions were restless, there'd be no rest for the other creatures until the lions had fought or feasted, then resettled. With their rising, I sensed a stirring of their strength in my spirit as well. Who isn't awed and captivated when a lion or a lioness rises and moves out from its resting place? It is a wonder to behold. But what was this to me? How could I possibly be connected to any of this wild golden might? While the imagery thrilled me, it also repelled me. I liked the idea of lionesses napping in the sun as their young frolicked, but images of the hunt and kill frightened and even disgusted me. When I watched National Geographic or Wild Kingdom, I averted my eyes.
Okay. Just wanted to give you a sample. So I got on their call that night, and I just kept thinking, if this is for no one but me, for me to fully understand the fullness of how God was trying to show me how prophetic this year's convention theme would be. Well, I got on a video last night that's Lisa Bevere on YouTube. I want to say it was like Lisa Bevere, Lioness Arising, 2016. This book is maybe a couple years old. And it was some sort of conference that she was doing. One of the imageries that she shared, she said once after she had this vision, she goes into a lot of depth about it. But after she had the vision, she began to study lions and lionesses. And she said she used to couldn't even stand to watch it. That's what she was about to tell us. She couldn't watch it on National Geographic. She used to be like, hurry, zebra, get away, hurry, like, because it's like panic watching them devour. But she said she became enthralled with their power and their knowingness of their power. That was the most impressive thing to me, was talking about how they know who they are. And also how they work in teams. The women, it's females, are the hunters. And how they work as a team. And she said, if you watch them, it's like watching a dance. It's so well rehearsed. The skills are so refined. They work as a team. She told a story about, wow, I didn't know that. How cool is that? She told a story about how they had kept some in captivity for a while, 2 lionesses and a lion. And they said that when they decided that they needed to turn them back out into the wild, they had made some sort of contraption and put the contraption up to like an enclosure so that they could just release them. And they opened the gate and thinking they're going to walk out, and they wouldn't. Pause for a second. The wild open yonder was right in their face. They could go and be anything they wanted to be and escape this enclosure that they were in. Like, they kind of cut a hole in a fence, butted up. Can you imagine like a cattle? I'm trying to picture, I'm sure it wasn't like this, but I'm thinking like a cattle trailer. And you butt it up against the wide open spaces, and you open it up and you're like, now go, shoo, go. And they wouldn't. They just kept looking at it. They're like, I don't know what's out there. I don't know what's out there. And they said like days, 2 or 3 days pass, and they haven't fed them because they want them to go on the hunt. So they finally decided, well, and they put a buck out several feet from them. And they said, finally, after a couple days, one of the lionesses, one of the female lions, she's like going stir crazy and probably hungry. And she's like, I'm going in. I'm going to see what that buck tastes like, So she goes, and she said she turns over her shoulder and is like, come on, to the other lioness. And the other lioness follows her. And they get out there, and you think it's been days since they've eaten, that they're just going to eat it. But they take it and they drag it back to the lion. Like some sort of honor. It was like honoring him. They said he was a young lion and did not yet know who he was. But they did. They knew who he was. So they drug it back to him, let him eat upon it. And then they eventually all ventured out. And they said that they had put some sort of contraption around their necks that helped them track their movement, and you know how they do when they're studying animals. And they figured out in the middle of tracking all this, whatever, that this lion was having to fight for his territory more often than he should, because how they determine whether they're going to fight someone is the size of their mane. And so it's like the size of the mane determines whether, could I fit you in my mouth or not? Like, could I fit my mouth over your head or not? And since he had this contraption over his neck, it was making his mane look smaller, and he was having to fight all the time to maintain his territory, having to fight all the time. So they decided, okay, well, we're going to have to get that thing off his neck. He's having to fight all the time. So they go out in, she said, in their testosterone, in their like Jeeps, Range Rovers, whatever, out there with their tranquilizer guns, and they shoot him with a tranquilizer dart, and he looks over his shoulder and is like, is that all you got? He keeps walking, like it's in his hip. He keeps walking. And they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to hit him again. So they hit him again. And then that he goes down. He's still awake, but he goes down, and he keeps lifting his head. They can tell he's still awake, but they don't think that he can move. You know, like, can you imagine go to the dentist and you get the gas? Well, I can't move, but I can see you. Okay. It was one of those kind of things. So they get out and they head over toward him, and out of nowhere, the lioness jumps out of the bushes, and she starts pacing back and forth. And she's like, if you're going to get to him, you got to go through me. And so they're like, oh my gosh. So they get their gun out and they shoot her. One dart takes her out, like she lays down, but they go up to her and they're checking her out. You know, they're doing their weekly exam, or their yearly exam, I should say. She's okay. Her teeth are okay. They're checking all these things while she's out. But as soon as they start touching her, the lion, he starts growling like, don't touch her, right? Like this fierce protective thing. And then they go over, they do everything that they need to do with the lion, and they're doing it fast. And she says, as they're wheeling away, you hear them over their little, you know, they're talking and they're on video. You hear them over their little speaker system saying, "Whoo, we got out there just in the nick of time." There is nothing more dangerous than a lioness or a lion when they are fully awake. Then I won't go into the rest of what she said. If you want to watch it, message me. I will send you the link, or I'll just tell you how to find it. It's Lisa Bevere, Lioness Arising, 2016. You'll find it. It's terrible quality, the video itself. The audio is good, though. She begins to talk about how the church has been asleep, like we were tranquilized. And she said, there's nothing more dangerous, though, than when we wake up. So the prophetic, I got goosebumps, the prophetic word, the prophetic theme from our convention, this year, there is nothing more dangerous to the enemy. Because keep in mind, what Numbers 23, 24, I hope I said that. It may be 24, 23, 23, 24, I think. What Numbers says is that the lioness, like a lioness, will rise up, and it talks about devouring and even drinking the blood of the enemy. Like not leaving anything. That's what I took that to mean. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to leave anything of the enemy. I will completely devour. Nothing left behind. There will be nothing left behind. The enemy, there will be no trace of the enemy left behind. Then today, I watched a Troy Brewer video that's talking about, it's actually Robert Henderson for those of you who are in my Dreamers group, you saw I shared it. Troy Brewer has Robert Henderson on as a guest, and he's talking about the courts of heaven. And once you take the enemy to court, it's all over for him. If you want to learn more about that, you got to go watch that video, because I've run out of time. I took a few notes when I was listening to her again just now. Vibrantly awake. Vibrantly awake was one of the things I wrote down. Fully awake. We once were tranquilized, but we are the golden ones. We are the golden ones. And let me just speak to you right now. I know we have men on this call, but I'm just going to speak to you as women. The imagery, first of all, for the body of Christ, and where the church has been, And don't get offended when I say primarily previously led by men. I'm not saying that the women are the leaders, but I'm saying that the women might lead the men to be fully awake. Do you understand? Like the way God is using women right now, I am like, okay, we're not by ourselves. Do you understand this? We are a tribe of lionesses. And once the men are fully awake, do you understand that they are the king of the jungle, the undisputed? Nothing tackles a lion. Nothing tries. They all fear him once he is fully awake. And I'm just going to tell you right now, he's using the women. He's using the women. Yeah, I know. Are you feeling it? I'm about to pass out over here. This business sets us up in a way to where our men can fully awake to their purpose, if that's the desire in your heart. If that is the desire in your heart, and you have a man who needs to be, and if he's called to be, they are called to be fully awake. They can be set free from financial burden. They can be set free from health burden. And if you are a wise and praying wife, and you are wise enough to ask, if you are wise enough to ask, that's something I learned this week. Someone spoke a prophetic word into my life, and they said, I know, but have you asked? This was in response to something not about my husband. This was in response to something about some other issue in my life that has been an ongoing issue. And I was like, I don't know how to let that go. I don't know how to let that go. And here I am teaching people how to let stuff go. And that for me, for whatever reason, because it's it's a recurring offense. You understand? It's a recurring offense. I don't know how to let it go. I can let it go today, but then tomorrow it's a recurring offense. Okay. I know many of you are going to know what I'm talking about. Here's the thing. Someone asked me, have you asked God specifically? What's your strategy on that? Have you contended daily for it in prayer? That one thing. Let's say it's an estranged family member or struggle with a family member. Have you taken it to the Lord every day in prayer? Have you said, Lord, I know this person needs deliverance. You are the deliverer. What is your strategy in prayer for that person? And I'm going to link arms with you in that strategy. Every day, I'm going to contend for it. Every single day, I'm going to contend for it until I see the answer. Maybe it does have to do with your spouse. Maybe it has to do with an in-law. Maybe it has to do with your mother. Maybe it has to do with your sister. Maybe it has to do with a friend. But whatever it is, have you asked God, what's your strategy? And then have you fully committed it to prayer? Or do you just let it annoy you? Because I will tell you, I was falling on the latter, not the former, but the latter end of that particular issue. Hang on. So tonight, in prayer, we're going to go to prayer right now, because knowing since October that this convention theme was prophetic, when something's prophetic and it's also connected with plexus, claim it, because you are part of that. Because it's interesting too that if it's part of plexus is part of the tool that God is going to use to set the freedom. Do you understand what I'm saying? To set freedom in place for you, to break strongholds, to break bondages in your life, over your marriage, over your health. Rise up. Okay? Yeah, somebody was saying, I can't remember, forgive me for not giving proper credit here, but I had the thought earlier today, and then somebody said it in the chat. We're going back to Vegas, where the MGM Grand is the lion, right? That's their symbol. I think it might have been Dusty that said that. I'm way behind in the I'm going to pray over us. If you have a husband and aren't a husband, I'm starting out with your husband. We're going to pray over husbands tonight. We're going to pray over men in general tonight. We're going to start that way. I feel like my phone might run out of juice, but I'm on my computer. So if my phone runs out of juice, we'll run out of music, not. I got to put my oils on too, but I'm going to wait on my music to start. Woo, Jesus! Let your power fall. Woo. Hot and heavy. Here we go. I'll turn it down. I know some of you can't stand that ringing noise. God, I'm just going to shoot straight to the point. I'm going to tell you right now that some of us are women who are husbands contending, who have husbands, and we are contending for them in prayer tonight. God, we're coming straight to the throne room. We're going to bypass all the other rooms. We're coming straight to the throne room, and we're going to just lay our husbands at your feet. The work that you have for their lives, Lord, we lay down all agendas of our own. We choose, if that's what you choose tonight, we lay down every agenda of our own, and we put our men. If you have a son, let's put the men on the altar in the throne room right now, and we say, God, have your way. God, my agendas have not worked. My plans, my ideas. God, give me new ideas and new strategies. But Lord, let your plan be number one. God, I know that the burden for the men in my life, the burden does not fall on me because your yoke is easy. God, the burden of it belongs to you. I want to link arms. It's my prayer to link arms in the strategy. So I need an ear, Lord, that you would open my ear to your plan. Lord, that you would open my heart to your plan, that my mind would be so in line with Christ that I would already know the plan that you have. And that my daily action, if it requires me to hold my tongue, or if my daily action requires me to speak scripture over my husband or pray over him while he sleeps. The men in my life, let's really be inclusive of the men in our lives, Lord. Tonight we bring the men to you in fullness. God, that there's some poem I read a long time ago, and he's showing me imagery that I get when I read that poem that has something to do with at the end of my life, I want to know that I've rounded all the bases and I slide into a home base, not leaving anything behind, like nothing was left out. The idea of that poem, in which I can't even recall what it's called, that the idea of that poem would be the prayer for our men, that they would have rounded all the bases and they would have, like, there would be no life left in them by the time that they are sliding into home base, that they would have done all the things that you have called them to do, that there would be no regret, there would be no remorse, there would be nothing, no question of, man, if I had tried that one thing, or if I had done that one thing, or if I had gotten behind my wife on that one thing, or if I had stood up that one time. No, Lord, we call all of that into alignment with your purpose and your plan and your desire. We call it all into alignment, and every aspect, every tributary, every facet of all of our lives that is not in line, I call it into alignment right now, divine alignment with your purpose and your plan. So much so that even if plexus for someone on this call is not part of their plan, Lord, that you would cut that arm off, cut that branch off. It's not part of their life. It's something else. Whatever it is. Not everybody's called to this business. For many, it is a divine source of income. It is a divine source of health. It's not for everybody. But those that fall on the other side of that, Lord, those that are who it does apply to, that it is part of their plan, it is part of their purpose, that I'm asking you tonight, like we have not because we ask not, I ask you tonight to divinely join me in this prayer, because not all of you are on my team. God, that you would divinely send them to my team. And you know what? That you would send me the one who has those divine hookups. And then you would send me another one. And that I would handle them right. I would say, here you go. It's an easy system. It's a system. And that I would take not a single one for granted. That I would pour into them. That I would not be cynical or jaded in what you bring to me, Lord. When you bring someone to me, I handle it with honor as though you sent it to me. I don't think, well, I don't know if they're going to do this. They may not do that, whatever. No, that is canceled out. That is not part of your future. I'm really supposed to say that. If you have been cynical and jaded, your future looks brighter when you are not. Your future is already being set up for you. It is already set up for you. Walk through the doorway. Oh my goodness. Walk through the doorway. Yesterday is no longer. It is a brand new start from right now. What time is it? It's 10:02 on January 16th, 2019. And the clock restarted just now. That's what I saw. I saw it start. That's why I wanted to see what time it was. I saw a clock go back to 0000, like you've just now started again. You walk through the doorway. Step into something fresh, something new. You leave the jaded and cynical behind. Take a deep breath because you're in a different place now. The air smells different. The air feels different inside your lungs. It's fresh. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to speak to the women. Our husbands are called. And here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you are the lion and the lioness in your home, just know that things are going to shift and change. Don't let it become a power struggle when it happens. But the lioness would say, okay, I'm the queen, but he is the king. You may have been the one that took the tranquilizer dart out, but then let him shake his mane. I want you to get that. I want you to know, first of all, that God has really been talking to me about imagery, imagination, and how much it's connected to belief and faith and manifestation. Imagery, imagination, belief, faith, manifestation. I want you to see your husband stepping into that role where he says, we are called to something more. We are called to something greater. He says, hey, breakthrough is on us, girl. Breakthrough is upon us. That this falls on your sons, your grandsons. this mantle of greatness, this generation is called, like, in a different way than I think we could possibly anticipate. This generation that are what we would say are sons and grandsons now, they are called to something very different than the world has ever seen. Have we covered them in prayer every single day, or do we talk about it more? I talk about it more than I pray about it, but not me, not from now on. I'm going to take everything straight to the throne room, and I'm going to say, hello. I'm going to do like I did to Darius. Hello. I'm back again. Until this prayer is answered, Lord, I know it's your will. Until I see it answered, I'm back again. I'm back again. I was talking to God this week about how I feel. I've gone through this season. I learned how to pray. My prayers are different. So I was telling God, I was like, no, my prayers are a little different than what I hear. I felt this swoosh. I don't know what it was. This swoosh of, what are you talking about? Step forward. Quit talking about that. Because that was just I don't know. It was like me musing about prayers are kind of different. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't feel and he's like, swoosh. I don't know what you're talking about. Move on. Put one foot in front of the other. Rise up. No regrets. In your household. You say, this is the household of fullness, the fullness of what God has. The fullness. Can you imagine have a word spoken over you? Can you imagine it? Can you imagine having a magnificent word spoken over you? And you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to make it happen. Whatever it is, no. I told some friends of mine on Monday night, I said, the RSVP part, the who, the what, the where, the when, the how, the why, that is God's issue. If he has given you a dream or a goal or a word over you that is bigger than what you can contemplate, he has the RSVP taken care of. Why would we even worry about that? He's like, look, you're going to become the king of South Africa. And you'd be like, what? Okay, but God said it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if God said it, who is going to contend with him? I mean, like, who is going to come against that? Okay, I don't know how to make that happen, God, but okay. He calls us to be incubators of his promises. The seeds that he plants, stop digging them up with your unbelief and your negative words. Sprinkle it every day. Say, I believe it, Lord. I'm back here waiting on it, Lord. I'm here right now. I'm ready for it, Lord. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here with a listening ear, with an open heart. My mind is open to your plan, Lord, even if it looks different than how I have ever viewed religion before. Even if it looks different than how I have ever seen church done before. Even if every element of it looks like, what? I'm okay with that. Because I know it's you, God, and that is all that matters. God, I break off any stronghold that someone has. If there is any stronghold that remains on anybody on this call tonight, I want you to say, Lord, break off any stronghold off of me, off of my family, off of my health, off of my finances. It be gone. It's gone in the name of Jesus. And God, here I am. I'm a contender. I come back in, and I say, I'm ready for the fullness of what you created me for. I will not hide in the shadows. I will not hide in the shadows. I will rise up. It is time for me to fully rise up. I make these declarations and I speak this prayer in the name of Jesus. Amen. If you agree with me, say amen. Amen. Got a lot of messages here.
Hey, Lori. It's Elaine.
Hey.
This has been on my heart to tell you, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one on this call that feels this way. But you take us to church every week, and I feel like being under your umbrella has done more for my relationship with Jesus Christ than anything else in my entire life ever has. And I just want to thank you for that, because I hadn't found a church that felt like it was a good fit for me. But every week you help me, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Helps me not to feel like such a bozo.
You're not.
I will second what she just said. I describe my Wednesday evening Plexus Zoom calls as more about God than they are about Plexus. That's how I describe it to people. And I let people know that I am completely unavailable from 8:30 on Wednesday night, because it's more about God than it is about Plexus. And that's the truth. Elaine, I agree with you 100%.
Jetty's getting tickled about the 8:30 on.
Well, I ain't stupid.
He's like, I've been there. So hot right now. Oh my goodness. I want to tell you that so much of what has manifested in the physical in our health is going to break off as you walk into freedom. As you walk into the freedom of who you're called to be, manifestations of physical illness and anxiety, things that look like anxiety, are going to fall off of you. Someone told me something like that today, and just tonight as I was praying, it was like I saw a transition of someone like walking and like almost like they were on crutches, and then I saw them standing upright, and then like they breathed in their lungs, and it was like I saw a transformation. It felt like I couldn't describe it while I was seeing it, so I just kept praying. But I felt that it was going to be like a full transformation of your health, I think if you put an area of struggle into any area of struggle that you have going on, I feel like that's what that was representative of. That as you walk into the fullness of who you're called to be, that those things are going to fall to the wayside. There's something different about religion. Religion made me jaded. I'm just going to be honest with you. Religion made me think I didn't measure up and fit the mold. There's something different about religion and what I'm talking about. I'm talking about walking in the fullness of God's mercy on your life. And it turns from like mercy into like promises. Like at first you're like, oh, I'm not worthy. I don't fit the mold. I'm not whatever. You don't, fill in the blank. I'm not this, I'm not that. And then you think, oh, God's mercy on me is so abundant. His mercy. And that's one type of church. You understand? Like you go to, I went to that church before where all they talk about is God don't care if you're all messed up. Okay, whatever that is. But then it turns into something different as you walk in it. The more you're like, oh my God, like you start to see yourself different. You start to evolve in a different way. And the next thing you know, you are rising up. You start rising up to being what you're called to be. And when you're walking in that, I want to tell you something. I have gotten the revelation about, I don't know, a few months ago, I got the revelation that when you're walking in the fullness of who you're called to be, the church will tell you that the enemy is going to attack you. But here's what I have found to be true. When you are rising up in the fullness of who you are called to be, the enemy don't want no part of your fire. I'm just telling you right now. And if you don't know that yet, test me on it. Start walking in the fullness of who you're called to be, and the enemy is like, I have different fire than her, and I don't like her fire. Her fire is going to eat me. You understand? It's a different thing when you wake up in the morning and you're like, also, I kind of believe that if you expect the enemy to attack you, you manifest it. So there's a little bit of that going on. So take that little golden nugget. I would love if you guys would do me a favor. I learned at a John Maxwell training that I went to. We were told at the end of, there was like 3 or 4 speakers. John Maxwell was, of course, the keynote speaker. But at the end of each speaker, they said, write down the 2 things that you just learned from that speaker. 2 things that were the most relevant that you want to put into play immediately. So after the first speaker, you write it down. After the second speaker, you write 2 things down after each speaker. And at the end of the day, they had you turn to the person that was sitting next to you and share from each speaker. There were maybe 4 speakers, so you're sharing 8 little bullet points with each other. And then you made a promise to each other that you were going to walk away from there and immediately implement those 8 things. First of all, it's the first seminar that I had ever gone to that I took what I learned and implemented it. It's the truth. And what I learned that day is if you learn something and don't implement it within, I want to say, do you remember what the time frame was? It was a short time frame. Within a few days, there's a part of your brain called the hippocampus. I know that's a part of your brain. I'm not sure that that's the part that is the paper shredder, but I think it is because I've learned about 2 different parts of the brain, and it may be I think it's the hippocampus. Anyway, you have a paper shredder in your brain that if you learn, let's say you go to something and you learn, 85,000 new things, all the things that you never did implement within the first week goes through the paper shredder because it doesn't want to keep you didn't deem it as worthy. You understand? Your brain is a filing system that says, well, she didn't use that. Shred. So tonight, God's been talking to me about this call since Saturday. He's like, get your team on this call. It's going to be powerful. Here's what I know. It's only as powerful as you implement it. Any of it. So I want you to write down your 2 golden nuggets is what they called it. Your 2 golden nuggets. He even had little golden Hershey nuggets in the sack for us at this conference. And I want you to write down your 2 golden nuggets. And then I will put in each of my 2 pages, share your favorite takeaways from tonight or share your golden nuggets from tonight. Because here's the thing. Here's what I learned when I shared it with the person at the conference with me. They got different nuggets than I did. I'm like, oh gosh, that is really good. I forgot about that. And I wrote down their nuggets too. And I came home and those things that I implemented, I still to this day look back and go, oh yeah, I learned that at that John Maxwell conference. I paper shredded a bunch of it, whether I wanted to or not. Tonight's call was powerful enough to put your golden nugget in play. Okay. I want you to put 2 things, and I want you to invite people to tomorrow night's call. Send, share, invite. There's a lot of them that you have already been talking to. There are a lot of them that you've already shared information with. I want you, by the time I post the prizes post tomorrow before noon, I want you to have those names ready that you can just tag them. I'm going to set it right now. I'm going to set an alarm in my phone so that the prizes post goes in before noon. And I will make sure that the prizes post tells how the event is going to shake down. Wait. I just set a weird alarm in my phone. Hang on. I will have a prizes post that's going to tell about tomorrow night's event. You can say, hey, this is the event I was telling. Hey, Sandy, this is the event I was telling you about. Hey, this is where the event's going to happen. That way, by noon tomorrow, we should have a lot. I should have all your golden nuggets in a different team page or alumni page. And I should have the information and all that ready so you can tag your people in the post. Set your alarms tonight for noon tomorrow. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm catching up in the chat. I'm almost to the bottom. Yeah, tomorrow at 6:30 Central Time will be when the event is. Yeah, I think 72 hours. I started to say 72 hours, so you're probably right. 72 hours before the hippocampus shreds. The system works. I'm just interjecting as I'm reading. The system works if you work the system. I'm talking about the system that they put out for Super Saturday. Y'all, this is the first time that we have what we need, all the things we need without making up a song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to make up another song this week. You don't have to anymore if you'll follow the system.
Lori, can I ask of you a question?
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of having a flashback from when I first met all y'all, and there was like that instinctive doubt, but I still stuck around because I was willing to learn. And the one thing that has lingered in me and is holding on to me so tightly that is negative is how dare I try to sell the people that I'm connected with a $200, because it ain't just $179, it's $179 plus $39.99 plus shipping and handling and taxes. You know, like, I have to tell my authentic story, and part of my story is I was very poor. And so that's who I'm mostly statistically connected to. And it's just and then I hear you also say that you went back to your original self and it was the probiotic queen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have all these ideas in my head. If someone legitimately says to me, and I've had 2 out of all my people, and I've had over around 30 people sign up here and there.
Okay.
That had the expendable income. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
So to me, my goal is always triplates combo.
Okay.
And when that convention, that's the only thing that brought such a sunken feeling in me, is that I cannot, with good conscience, push something out there. And then my history in sales, I was in sales for a long time, not multi-level and all that, but I had a wonderful boss man years ago where he's like, listen, if you can't get $10 for it, get $5 for it. You know how much it costs me. You know how much the overhead is. You know, so he let me work, and that was the thing is. And then I think about Dawn and Greg, and I think about how Greg was like, I just started out on one product pessimistically, you know, and
yeah,
all that goes through my head, and it overwhelms me and terrifies me that they're pushing us to push $179.99.
Okay, I'm gonna give you two different answers to this. One answer is trust your instincts. I'm specifically talking to you. Pray about which way you go with someone. Don't assume in any instance that someone can or can't, even based on, I'm just going to tell you a story tonight. I'm going to tell you a story. Somebody told me before they started Plexus that they were going to have to go settle. I'm not going to say what because they might be on this Zoom, but they're like, let's say they were going to go sell a broom, a mop, and a mop bucket so that they could afford to buy Plexus. And I'm like, oh gosh. This was like 2 weeks before Joy Ohm came out, a week. And she was like, well, when I go and sell this, if I get enough money, then XYZ. When Joy Ohm came out, she was the first that said, got mine. Okay, now that's one story I'm going to tell you. Okay, because I believed with all my heart that what she was telling me, like, I'm literally going to have to rob from Peter to pay Paul and lie to my husband to be able to afford a triplex combo. And when Joy Ohm came out, it was $150, and it was like a week later, like it was less than 2 weeks later. She's like, got it. And I'm like, because she's already an ambassador. She spent the $100 on the welcome pack, and she spent the $150 on the Joy Ohm back to back. And I was like, she must like skincare. Or her husband left. There's something that don't add up because she's telling me one thing. Okay, now that's one thing I want to tell you. I want to keep in the back of your mind because that is a true. It is the thing that stood out to more of all the things that happened at the Joy Ohm launch. The thing that stood out to me the most that day was I got basically like lied to. Okay. Now take that story and keep it in the back of your mind. Another thing, you specifically need to trust your instinct. Tell them about both because the value in a welcome pack, and I'm talking about
amazing.
how much you're actually saving. A lot of people will go, okay, I see what you're saying there because I won't ever have that chance again. Because once you've done it, right? Okay, I see what you're saying. You got to put it out there and let them choose which way is smartest for them. Also, the trend right now is to push toward $199 packs. And I'm going to tell you, it is the smartest for your business. Especially what's coming down the road. It's the smartest to get you and your team lined up doing the $199 packs. So I've put that out there. If you're listening and you have listening ears, it's the smartest way to go for your business. But when someone can't do that, then you do the 99 welcome pack. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard you during the Zoom tonight. And at first, when you asked about the 2 nuggets, I was like, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Oh my God, I must not have been paying attention. But it just hit me that one of them was value. And I have a habit, I used to have a habit of devaluing my own worth, my own health worth. And I actually did make a post while we were doing the Zoom. And it's scary when you share this in a sports bra. And then I feel like a sinner because I'm showing some skin, but I'm trying to be authentic because I know how many Instagrams I searched for years just to look for a woman's body who looked like mine. And I actually did use those words. I did ask the questions. I didn't talk about the cost, but I did ask, what is this value to you? So
Yeah.
that did help change my mind a little bit.
The thing is, and there's a video I did probably back in 2014 that's getting circulated a lot right now. I keep seeing it circulating. And it's talking about getting outside of your comfort zone for the sake of other people and their families. Because a lot of time, if somebody used to order a bottle of BioCleanse, I'd think, well, they're not even going to run out of BioCleanse in their first month because you tell them to start slow, right? But I began to tell people, hey, here's the thing. You're going to get it, because I try to get them on a subscription order. They didn't call it subscription, but I try to get them where they're ordering once a month because I knew they needed to be consistent. So I'd say, okay, every night you're going to pop, by the time they're doing 2, you're going to pop 2 BioCleanse, you're going to pop 2 ProBio 5, and you're going to reach over and you're going to tell your husband, open wide, and you're going to get 2 BioCleanse to him. And do you know what? I was like being kind of funny. And did
That's smart.
The orders that started coming in because the husbands were like, what is that stuff you're giving me? It is magic. And that's another thing you have to keep in mind is a double welcome pack for people, like a $1.99 welcome pack. Sometimes they'll be, okay, I'm going to tell you another story. Just about a week ago. Huh? Okay, yeah, that's true. Jenny's like, we don't have the double anymore. But I'm talking about a $1.99 welcome pack gives you more product. So, okay. So, when you have it, when you have a husband start on the product, okay, like I told someone the other day, I was like, she's a really good friend of mine, like I'm talking good friend. So I was like, get the $1.99 welcome pack because it's the smartest deal for you, and figure out what you don't need. I'll take it. I'll buy it from you. This is not business. What I'm telling you right there, I wasn't doing that for the purpose of business. I was doing that for the purpose because she needed a majority of it. So I thought, whatever she don't use, there ain't anything in a $1.99 welcome pack that I won't use since she's a good friend of mine. So, and I was like, she's going to get a good deal on it. I'll get a good deal on it, whatever. She got it in, and her message came back. Jetty predicted this. He's like, she's going to get it in, and she's going to be like, never mind, my husband wants the shakes. And sure enough, she got it in, and she's like, hey, JoJo wants to start the shakes. That's not his name. JoJo wants to start the shakes. He's looking at them. He said, gosh, this has better ingredients than whatever, da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That was my husband.
So don't ever limit someone in your mind. I think that's the big, big lesson is don't prejudge. Don't limit someone in your mind based on what you've seen them do before, because those ones that you've never seen them do something before, they're the first ones that's going to jump out and say, I want some Joy Om. And you're like, what? You had to sell your firstborn child to get a welcome pack.
Sell your plasma.
That's crazy. You had to sell some plasma to get your whatever.
Well, and then they have more. They have more to try. Lori, just to piggyback, they have more products to try to find what it's a good fit. And then if they back off and they start with the $199 worth of stuff and they back off, the next month they're still more than likely going to still need like $100 worth of stuff, rather than if you start them with the $100 worth of stuff and they eliminate one thing. Because we always do, like, I started doing the slow start triplex after getting under your bubble and explaining how to like get people on it so that they don't have really crazy die off and then quit. So then they end up with too many BioCleanse and too many ProBio because we start them so slowly that the next month they don't want to order the whole triplex again. They just want a bag of Slim. And so right away it messes with your point.
Yeah, your people qualifying or not.
Yes.
But if
I'm going through that now.
But if they had tried their X Factor chewables, and if they had tried their, like
the shakes,
Ease or Ease cream, whatever, people get on. I'm gonna tell you right now, some of the things that we don't highlight in a lot of our stuff is like Ease cream or body cream or whatever. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when I think of Plexus, I think of the triplex. But if I run out of Ease cream, oh my gosh, like I gotta find somebody who has that stuff. Body cream too, I gotta have that stuff. I don't even think of it. I know it's Plexus, but it's not at the forefront of my mind about what's Plexus. But once you start it, you cannot find something at Walmart that's like it. So getting those $1.99 welcome packs in their hand, I do understand your concern because I was in the same financial situation you're talking about when I started. to order the products I ordered, I thought, oh, if my husband finds out. That's what I remember thinking. If my husband finds out that I did this, he'll see the statement and enough time will have passed that I can explain myself. That's how I thought about it. Another thing is too, I think you attract to yourself what you anticipate you will attract.
It's a mindset shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you believe that they're getting a better value with like I keep telling people, I wish they would have had that huge weight loss pack that's got everything, the triplex plus the lean plus the metaburn. I'm like, why 4 years ago when I joined it and they have this?
I think I fast forward through part of what Michelle was saying, or maybe Genevieve said, I'm not sure, but they were saying people who pay over $100 a month just for shakes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're everywhere. They check in at the shake shop on Facebook. They're like, checking in. And I'm like, it's more expensive than Starbucks. And they're doing it every day. That adds up. You see what I'm saying? Like, checking in, I got a shake at the shake. Not to mention that they drive in there every day. Okay. Maybe it's part of their social experience. Whatever. They like it for that reason. But what I'm telling you is, when you look at what we have and what like you said, the value, once you see the value that it offers to people, your brain is like, okay, I see this differently. And I really do think a lot of it has to do with attracting, like if you're thinking that the majority of people are attracted to your story because of, the authenticity of it and all that, I get it. But if you think that authenticity is based mostly in their finances, you understand what I'm saying? A lot of people, I think it attracts to you the people that will be like, look, I can't afford but $50, or I can't afford but this amount. It was the biggest mind switch for me to switch from being like, okay, I have to make sure that no one is getting put upon here or no one is getting cheated here, to being like, the video that's circulating is getting out of your comfort zone to help people and push. I started pushing not to qualify, because I wasn't trying back then. I didn't even know how qualifications worked or anything, but somebody told me, they said, you're underselling your product. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm selling a lot of it. And they're like, no, the other products. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, you're not giving people a proper chance to try everything. A lot of people need other things than just what you use. And so I started, okay, well, I'm going to try what you're saying. And I started pushing for it, and people would be like, oh, okay, you know what? All right, I am. Especially now that the system says, especially if you're going to sign up ambassadors and the system is me plus 3, them plus 3, and you can show them quickly how to make back their money and make money, if that makes sense. So that's another way that I approach it sometimes too. So
how do you stay balanced with, because you seem like you do have a big generous heart, that's how I read you.
Yeah.
How do you stay balanced? Because one of the mistakes I made in the beginning was I sponsored financially one person a month, and that only worked out like 2 out of 6 people, and it ended up I sponsored like 6 people in 2 months.
Yep.
Me being poor. But
Yeah.
I was, whatever. How do you pray or come to terms with not overdoing the being a blessing?
Okay. I don't sponsor anybody anymore. I did in the beginning, like you're talking about. Every single instance when I did it, they did not flourish. And I'm not even talking about myself. I would message them back and be like, how's that going for you? I forgot about it. It's in the back seat of my car rolling around. And I'm like, oh, what? I mean, like, I gave that to you. And I can't think, if you are on my call tonight and I sponsored you, please raise your hand. I did? No, I'm sorry.
He means pay for your
product. I paid for you to come in. Did I pay for you, Barbara? Did I pay your welcome pack, or did I pay your 34? I paid 34. Your 34. Must have been. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the $34.
Okay.
That's
yeah, I don't remember. I didn't even remember that I did that. Anybody else?
I just wanted to offer this. a lot of people are about to get a tax return.
That's true too.
And so with the me plus 3 and the them plus 3, that's hard to say with no teeth. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. Me plus 3 and them plus 3 just don't exactly roll out. But seriously, so I'll just laugh. But seriously, these folks that are going to get a tax return in,
yeah,
they're going to have the money to be able to buy that $199 welcome pack. Don't worry about how you're going to afford the monthly subscription, because you're going to have 3. And then they going to have 3.
Yes.
And then you'll be able to afford, that's going to pay for your products. So that is a timely thing for this thing to be rolled out right now, right at the very beginning of tax season.
Yes, it is. I agree with that.
Do you push when you were a newbie and you started to really understand what you were a part of? Do you push sip and seeds? Like, I have a contest in my ambassador group where because I was motivated by the plus 3, the me plus 3 plus them plus 3.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking, how can I help my girls grow? And so I did a contest for the next 30 days. Since that day, I said, anyone who does a sip and see, takes pictures, posts it on Facebook, it can be public or in our ambassador group,
yeah,
you know, gets entered into a drawing for either a free Meta Burn or Probio 5. Did you push those a lot with your team as part of a team building thing? Because I'm trying to do stuff, but I do have a lot of girls that are states away.
Okay, when I'm doing an event this weekend with some girls, and one of the main things I'm going to focus on is how the business is so different now than when I started, because some of these girls are going to be local girls and they've watched my entire journey and they've never fully invested in the business. And I think it was because I made it so complicated. It needed to happen at that time. The environment and the atmosphere was one where I had to attack the medical establishment as a whole. Like, I had to come and say, there are other ways than going to the doctor. There are other ways than back then that people's eyes were not open to that. And I think a lot of people were like, I'm interested in what she does, but I don't want to do it. Okay. Okay. Because I was so whatever, in your face, gung-ho. The beauty of what Michelle shared on tonight on that video, the duplication of what we do is share this video or send, share, invite. Nobody has to come up with beautiful oratories, because that was something I was good at, and something you're good at too, Christy. You're good at wording things. You're good at telling a story. And people, if they think, oh, I don't know how to do what she does. But if you are send, share, invite in Messenger, and they're like, okay, well, I don't know, how do I work the business? You'd be like, well, I just did it. Like, I sent, I shared, I invited. And then that's basically, you'll have access to that same info that I had.
You don't say, hi, how are you? You just send them a video?
No.
I mean, I'm a hands-on and visual learner. So, like,
no.
You got to dumb it down
you
a
can
little bit.
take the scripts that go with send, take the scripts that go with
right,
share.
they did show those, yeah.
Yeah, and make them your own, right. But I'm saying you don't have to make it overcomplicated. You're asking me a question about when I was starting. There was no such thing as a sip and see. I bet I didn't hear of those until 3 or 4 years ago. They didn't do those. I did this business, and those of you who have been around as long as Barbara, right, can tell you that I said, I will never speak in front of people. No. And I ain't doing opportunity meetings. I got to Emerald, having never done anything like that. But that's because I worked my business fast and furious through Messenger and on my Facebook wall. I was reaching out. I didn't have an app to keep me in order, but I was doing all the things that this Super Saturday was about. Like, back to the start, 5 to 10 reach outs every single day, following up with people, sending them the information that I had at hand. I spoke way too much. I gave way too much information. I overwhelmed people with information. I tried to convince them. I tried to persuade them. I tried to persuade them way too much. And I should have just kept it much simpler. So I can tell you that I do like the sip and sees. And if your team culture is one where you think they'll do the sip and sees, then I think it's great. I just can't answer your question because we didn't have them back then. We had nothing. There were no videos on YouTube, Christy, about Plexus.
I so obsessively watched all of y'all the first month on YouTube. I was looking up diamond documentaries, how to do this, how to do that. That honestly, I tell my team, don't do that because it's so overwhelming and you lose yourself.
Yep.
And your authenticity.
Yes. When the first video I ever watched on YouTube about Plexus was a video I made. I'm not kidding. I was like, there aren't any. Like I got on, I would find something that said Plexus and it would be Sheila Medina, who I didn't know who she was at the time. And she's at that end of the room. The camera is at this end of the room and you can't hear her. I'm like, I wish I could hear what she was saying. It was like, no, there was no technology. Somebody in the back was recording her. She didn't know she was being recorded. And it was just like she was doing kind of a sip and see. But she, it was something like that. It wasn't, that's not what they called it. And it was like, she's reading from a card. She's reading the back of a card and showing a card and reading the back of a card and flipping it over. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. I started making videos for my team. I was putting them on YouTube so my team could see them. I didn't know how to set it private and all that kind of stuff. And that's basically that's how my Plexus business started. They didn't have Facebook videos back then. Like if you had a video on Facebook, you had to make it on YouTube and then share the link.
Okay, I have one more question because I am so desperately, like I am re-inspired.
Okay.
And when I think about the Doe app and I think about what I have seen you say about making connections, and that is honestly, like I give the impression, and I am friendly, I'm very friendly, but it always stops at a certain level.
Yeah.
And it's not that I choose to be that way, it's just history and subconsciousness. So my word this year was actually connections. It's something I'm trying to do all across the board.
Yeah.
And I have a large amount of friends on my friends list. And so with the Doe app, I feel like my husband says, have you done your IPAs today? He's very supportive. So I said, yeah. I said, but since doing the Doe app, I have only 200 people out of over 3,500 people that I really know. And so I need to make relationships. And some of them I'm just saying hi or just posting a GIF on their wall. Is that what you would call an IPA?
Well, yeah, for people who are like the Doe app is different.
Complete stranger.
The Doe app is different for most people than it is for me. And I wanted it designed for you guys. So how it's intended to be used is if it's someone like some people, you just click the X button and you're like, not right now. Like click the X button, be like, move on. Not right now. And
I say hi to everybody unless
okay, well you can if you want to. Like for me, some of them are going to be people. The majority of people names that it serves up to me every day are already Plexus people because that's who my following is. If I could do that over, I would do it differently when I was accepting friend requests in the beginning. But
you can go unfriend them. I'm just saying.
I know, I do sometimes. Not to be rude, but just because it's like I can't get a friend request anymore. But like, I just go XX, or if it's a Plexus person, they don't need to be in my Doe app.
Right, I do that.
Yeah. I put them in the trash can. You can click on their name and put them in the trash can. They can be my my Facebook friend, but I put them in the trash can. That way I don't have to circulate them back through. But if it's somebody that I think, if it gives me a feeling in my stomach where I'm like, I don't, X, it'll circle them back around to me. But I'm not looking for names, or I use the little space bar at the top where I can type in names of who I know I want in my circulation, like the girl that owns the pool supply, the girl at Ross. Those people, okay, I'm putting those people in where they're in my rotation that I'm reaching out to often. And then after I do that every day, the ones I know I want to be reaching out to, then I let Doe start feeding me suggestions. And as I see the suggestions, then I decide whether it's worth my time or not. Mine is a little different because a lot of my time is spent on connecting with teammates or looking at their Facebook pages and commenting or those kind of things. But yours as a newer ambassador should be building relationships with those that you want on your team. So yes, I do think that that would be effective. I mean, as long as you're not creating, here's the thing you can accidentally do on social media is create chatty Cathy conversations with people and you think, oh, you know, I wish I didn't do that. You know, somebody that's just going to talk back and forth with you all the time, that's not a relationship that you mean to be part of.
I've had those.
Yes, yes. So just, you know, I think just prayerfully go into your Doe app, just be like, okay, this is a smart one. I think this is a good idea. Start this relationship. And you can just coddle the relationship for a while. I think it's smart to do it that way, honestly. Yes.
Hey, Lori.
Yes.
I asked this question way at the beginning of the call, but when I set everything up with Doe and got going with it, I was never asked for a credit card or a PayPal or anything. How long are we like beta testers before we pay?
Is that true for everybody? I don't know.
I haven't paid and I haven't been asked for any money. And I never was told how long the free trial was. I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't say any of that. When we followed your link, when we put you in as the code, it just like uploaded his videos to start walking us through how to download everything, and there was no pay step.
Okay.
Exactly, and tonight was the first time I heard about $20.
Well, and the concern is that the free deal will run out and we haven't put in our debit card information to be able to pay, so that there might be a lapse in our access to the app. That's scary.
Yeah, I don't want to lose anything I'm saving in there too. Right.
Okay, I don't blame you. I don't think that will happen just based on the fact that he moved me from one version of the app to the other at 2 different times, and every time everything transferred with me. So I'm asking him, I don't know, it's probably late. I asked him if I get an answer on that, I'll answer in one of the team pages. He may answer me while we're still on this call, but it is kind of late. So,
well, I think, isn't he on the West Coast? Why do I think that?
I have no idea.
Seattle or something. Maybe I'm guessing.
I think it'll probably show up on your Doe app one day that says, hey, enter your credit card info. That's what I believe will happen. I didn't know it didn't already happen. I didn't know. I'm not concerned at all that it's going to suddenly one day shut down on you unless he prompts you to and you don't, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so to recap what you've said, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to belabor a question, but to recap what you've said, on the send, share, now I forgot what the last thing is, invite, send, share, invite thing. You would not cold message those scripts and videos to people. You would only do that to people that you had built a relationship with.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like to have some sort of something going on first, but I will tell you that I have diamonds on my team who would say, girl, you crazy. I just message everybody, and they're part of the reason that I'm a diamond. Does that make sense? Like diamonds that are underneath me who pushed me to diamond started relationships and said, hey, this is the way I did it. So I can't answer.
I think I'm just going to have to be bold.
Answering.
I think I'm going to have to be bold and do that because my warm market is gone bye-bye. And I'm not getting a lot of response from the people that I feel like that I have a relationship with. And quite frankly, I don't have time to build a relationship with some of these people. I need people now. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to get the cart before the horse, but I feel like maybe I'm just going to need to be bold and pray that God blesses that boldness.
Those people, the people that went to whatever it's called, not Musha K. What was the place called? The ones that win the big trip every year, they will tell you that they message over 100 people a day, and it's just like a copy paste. And the majority of people, because it's a cold market reach out, the majority of people don't say anything.
One Diamond, I did hear her. I don't know if she was Diamond. I might be wrong saying that, but I do know when Dawn and Greg did a Zoom one night with a guest speaker.
Yeah.
And I thought I had been blocked on Facebook, like Facebook jail, but Facebook come to find out was like twitching or geeking or something. But she said that she challenges her team to get put in Facebook jail, to have to count how many road signs. Like there's this little image and you got to prove it's you, and you got to say how many of these images have a street sign in it. I thought that was a little crazy because I get blocked every time I cold message somebody.
Okay, I see what you're saying, to show that they got put in crazy jail. Okay.
Yeah, she challenges them. They win something if they get put in Facebook jail the most.
I will tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you right now. The people that recruit the most don't necessarily have the most points, because do you know you can win a trip or win a convention contest prize or win a leaders retreat by lots of productivity, and you can win the contest, and it doesn't mean that you have the highest paycheck. It doesn't mean that you have the most points. It doesn't mean that you maintain the highest rank, because if their outgo is if you picture it like a bathtub, and the drain is draining faster than the faucet is putting new people in because of stuff like that. You understand? Like the method that you bring people in, I personally believe, and I would never want to stop from somebody, if you feel like it's put on your heart to do something, that seems like out there. But I feel like the method you bring people in on is why my team has maintained through a season when the back off was jacked up and credit cards were not getting processed properly, and like everything was like the part of the Wizard of Oz that you don't want to watch as a kid. You're like, oh, what is this going? Oh, it's a monkey. There's a monkeys. Oh, okay.
I actually learned from you in the beginning, because see, if you look at my list, I have enough people I should be gold by now if every one of them ordered.
Yes.
But that's because in my mind I was like, sign them up as ambassadors, get them wholesale, save them money. My poor girl mentality.
Yeah.
I'm not saving nobody money if they're not doing it more than 2 months.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I did start learning, hey, why don't we give this 4 to 7 weeks try? I say 7 weeks before the 8 weeks come, because you'll know by then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, unless they know that they're going to commit to like 3 to 6 months,
Yep.
then I sign them up as an ambassador.
There you go. See, to me, I never make long-term decisions based on a contest. Never have.
I changed about 4 months in on it.
Okay. Because to me, like Jetty and I had the conversation, he's not over there anymore, about 2 or 3 nights ago, maybe. He is in awe and in amazement at how much our team stayed steady Eddie in a time when people who are jewels in the company are in meltdown crisis mode, saying, what is happening? I'm losing all my points. And when somebody tells you that they lose more points in a month than you actually have, okay, you're going, what are they doing over there? What are y'all doing over there? It's probably what we were talking about on this call tonight, is that kind of where they're randomly messaging people. They're not building it on relationships. And I promise you, I'm not criticizing it. It's just not the roller coaster that I want my business established on. And I feel like if I was only talking to level ones right now, but some of y'all are my little chickens, and some of y'all are other people's chickens. And I don't want to, I don't want to be like overstepping my bounds as a leader and say, well, if your leader's telling you one thing, then I don't criticize. I try very much not to criticize what some other leader might be telling you to do that's between, like with you and,
She was a guest speaker.
She was a what?
She was a guest speaker.
a guest speaker.
My leaders always quote, and I quote, "We're going to Lori and Jetty, right?"
I knew yours did. I wasn't worried about you.
They are fangirls.
Yes, you are not somebody I was worried about. But and when I'm putting this out there on YouTube, these videos, I'm always like, okay, do what you're, do what you feel is right for your own business. Because that's the thing is I had to work this entire business from my gut. Because there wasn't anything to do other than to work it from my gut. And I try to help people learn from my mistakes because I've made a lot of them and help you leapfrog over my mistakes. But I feel like this video is going on and on, but I hope this has helped you guys. Hang on a second. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if I want to be put in Facebook jail. That's not my thing either. I don't want to be put in Facebook jail. I don't want to ever have my Facebook account threatened in any way because that's my means of communication to so many of you guys. And so, and also I think I'm just going to throw this out there and say, while it might be thrilling in the moment, it makes you feel empty when people are turning you in. There's not an amount of money or a rank that I could achieve that would make me feel, me personally, my personality type, that would make me feel comfortable with leading in that way.
It breaks my heart when I have to look at my list and I can't delete the people on my back office that's no longer there. It's a reminder of the mistakes I made in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, and here's another thing that I have learned, especially in the last 6 months, especially since December. Don't ever count anybody out. You never know when a new email that they get, excuse me, or a new product announcement or something is going to pique their interest because sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with anything but timing in their life.
I didn't even think about that they still get the emails.
Do what?
I didn't even think about that they still might get the emails if they haven't blocked it or spammed it or something.
That you can mess it up so bad or you can do it perfectly right and there's not a rhyme or reason. You just got to get used to the ebb and flow and also just speaking life. Anytime I look at my back office and if I run reports and I can single out who no longer orders or whatever, I just speak blessings over them, whatever, like blessings to them. And whether that blessing comes back around and whips me in the face by the fact that they get join Black and Plexus or not, it's none of my concern. But I feel like we're called to do that just for people that have ever become part of our journey, etc. So, okay, I do have to close this call out. I'm gonna do that part at least. Stop the recording.